everyone and welcome to Wednesday's Literacy. Let's have a look at our learning question for today. Can I correct the sentences using correct punctuation? Now, punctuation is so important when creating your sentences because it helps a lot. Now, what do we think punctuation is? We've got commas, we've got question marks, exclamation marks, full stops, we could have inverted commas, we could have brackets. There are lots and lots of punctuation that we use to help us understand how to read the text. So they are special markings that help you to separate clauses in your writing. So they are markings that we use, but we understand why we would put that marking where it is. For example, can I have some toast? Is a question. I'm going to use the question mark, that's the special marking for a question, at the end of the sentence. Happy birthday is an exclamation. I'm shouting you, so I'm going to use an exclamation mark. Sit down is a command. So it's not a question, I'm not questioning you to sit down, I'm telling you a command, sit down. I'm going to use a full stop. Now a comma, we've already done commas in a list to separate the nouns. You can also use commas to separate clauses, different clauses that come together instead of using and all the time. So I want us to have a look at the sentence. Does this sentence sound correct? My mum has a grey fluffy cat who is called Tom. It sounds fine. Big thumbs up, it sounds fine. My mum has a grey fluffy cat who is called Tom. Even better that I put grey and fluffy, two different adjectives to make an expanded noun phrase. However, our learning question for today is if you can correct sentences using punctuation. Punctuation helps us to read it properly and to know when one sentence ends and one begins using a full stop. Another clue is by using capital letters. So we're going to mark this as if I was marking your book. So I'm going to get my pink pen and I'm going to circle here because that actually should have a capital letter. My mum has a grey fluffy cat. Wait, what was the rule? I needed to have a comma in between the two adjectives, so I need to have some punctuation to have a comma in between. My mum has a grey fluffy cat who is called Tom. Who is called Tom? Now that's a subordinate clause. It doesn't make sense on its own. A main clause, my mum has a grey fluffy cat, that makes sense by itself. But to separate the subordinate clause that doesn't make sense on its own and the main clause, we use a comma. So it's not just to separate adjectives or to separate nouns. It gives us that breathing space. Who is called Tom? Now we know Tom is a name. It's a proper noun, so it needs to have a capital letter. So I'm going to circle that as well. That should be Tom. And I have put a full stop at the end, so that is right. So looking at your book, that is how that sentence would have been corrected in your book had it have been written by you. Now I know that you are much better at that, and you are much better at recognising what needs to be corrected in a sentence. You pick up on that very quickly. So moving on to your packs now. You've got your 1 star, 2, 3 and 4. All of the worksheets today require you to correct the sentences using the correct punctuation. Okay, some are larger extracts than others, but you need to think about these 5 elements. Your punctuation markings, your special markings, your comma, question mark, exclamation mark, full stop, and at the start of every sentence we know we need capital letters. So I want you to correct that, and doing that will help embed that into your writing as well, coming on to Thursday's write. Okay, good luck. Well done.